Well, hello there. Good Christmas to the people of my country, Barbados. To those living overseas, whether it's the Caribbean, we call the diaspora, England, Canada, America, Europe, wherever you are, Barbados. Let's first of all wish that you had an enjoyable Christmas. First of all, let's get that. And I'm hoping that in having an enjoyable Christmas, you understood that something very significant is being celebrated. Now, as I cautioned a couple days ago, because we are very tempted so many times to get in and try to dispute this day and that day and all that kind of stuff. And basically, all we're doing, even in our cleverness as we think it is working our way through the enemy's program. The enemy we call the devil, Satan. That's who the enemy is. Lucifer. And basically, that's all we're doing when we fight through it. Because at the end of the day, what we are doing is celebrating the love of God for his children, demonstrated in sending his son, who would eventually be crucified, died, buried, and will be resurrected for us, his children. That gives us then the connection back to God, and consequently, that opportunity to live eternally with him. Now, those who want to argue about this and that and something left out and all this kind of thing, I believe if you read the Bible, you would find that the Bible says, yes, a lot more work was done than was recorded. And what was recorded was deemed enough to bring you to a salvation with God and a reconciliation with your creator. And that's how it was set up. Nobody's disputing that there weren't other. Of course, there were about 6 or 7 books. But is that really establishing or disestablishing the existence of God, your creator, your Lord and Savior? So don't let us get bogged down too much there. Let us celebrate the fact that one, our creator loves us. He created us, didn't he? Check Jeremiah chapter 1 from verse 1 to 7. Check Ephesians. It's there. All right? He loves us. And something went wrong. We know what went wrong, but this is not the forum for it tonight. Something went wrong. It separated us from him. And to get back to him, certain conditions had to be in place, and that all those were met through his son. And as is contained in John 3:16, it's always good to read verse 17 as well. He was sent. He paid that price for us. It was substitutionary. And he paid that price so that we don't have to pay it. Now, as you develop that word, there is a progression in that process, which indicates that as Christ paid that price, we paid that price as well. But that again is more discussion that we want here tonight. I simply want for us to focus in and what this day means to us, what this time period means to us. So when people tell you, well, hey, don't take all of that, and then Christmas is just a day. No, it's not. You miss it. This is a season where we are celebrating the birth and our opportunity to return in relationship to God and to have an eternal relationship with Him, because there is a hell, which is the opposite of heaven. And you're not believing it does not stop it from being so. Even the Bible refers to hell, and it refers to Satan. All right? So you're not believing does not change it. And of course, they have a lot of pre-slavery, pre-this, and all kinds of stuff. A whole lot of African folklore, which I am not discrediting at all. I am only saying to you that at some point you got to get back to the creator that is responsible for you being here. And if you want to be the smartest person to go to hell, bye-bye, see you. Okay? So when we are celebrating Christmas, understand, there's so much to it. As I saw it this morning, I said, oh my Lord, here is the opportunity I have been given to be reunited with the Lord Jesus Christ. And this is the whole significance of it. And it should be very special to you, not just going to church, not just going in the park, not just dancing and all that. And there's nothing wrong with none of that. But understand, we have an eternity. And you can go towards the pitchfork, and that's a hot fork. Or you can go towards heaven. But there is two places. And there is no demilitarized zone. In other words, you can't spawn. You're 1 foot and one. No, like that. You're on the left hand side or the right hand side. And by the way, just in case you're wondering, the Bible tells you, Revelation chapter 1 says you're either hot, get to heaven, or cold, go the other side. But you can't spawn it. You can't sit in the middle. There's no middle. So, having put all that together, I am hoping that we had a wonderful time, a truly wonderful time, that Jesus was indeed the reason for the season, that we came to term. And I understand a lot of churches are not doing justice to anything, because our churches now is that it's business. It's business. And business oftentimes is concerned with what? Bottom line, P&L, profit and loss. But despite whatever is going on, I want you to understand that we serve a God that his hands are not short. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. And change will not disturb him at all. He can do it. He can make it happen in the twinkling of an eye. So again, here's hoping that you will enjoy this entire season. There's a song out there, I cherish that song. It says, the 12 days of Christmas. And of course, on the first day of Christmas, blah, 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 on the second day of Christmas. And I enjoy that because I do 12 days of Christmas and sometimes more. Because it's a season. I kept my Christmas trees up for an entire year. I changed to the new one around the 16th of December, and that stands. I put salt and sugar and all that in the water and make sure, and it works. And it's a live tree, by the way, folks. So there's every reason for us to understand and to enjoy the gift that today brought. And by the way, remember, we are celebrating today as, for that period when the gift was given. That's the birth of Jesus. Trust yourself not to be distracted and taken into some ugly path and all that. Trust yourself. So I'm hoping that everything went extremely well. I am hoping that the next 12 day, 11 days will be big as well, and we will give Christmas our all. I am hoping, I'm hoping that we were very generous to others, and from all reports, it would appear as though we were. We still have to get better because we don't want that to stop tomorrow. For a while, I've been talking about barrels coming in, and I've been asking Barbadians overseas to pump it up some and pump it up some. And I've been talking about this over and over and over and over again. And it seemed as though I had a check because I have barrels in the thing as well, but mine were posted late. So I understand that. They're here already. And my information tells me quite reliably that, we've had a very sizable number as increases in barrels sent home to relatives and friends to ease the burden that this Barbados Labour Party government has visited upon the people of Barbados. And I wish, again, I hope that all of you, England, Canada, wherever you are, around June, or if you have the wherewithal, around March of April, every 3 months, send one 20-25 bag pound sugar. I mean rice, 20 pound sugar, flour, and all that. It gonna run you about $8,000. But that's your family. And I'm here to tell you that there ain't nothing they can buy in that barrel in Barbados that is reasonably priced. That barrel is going to save them thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And so I am hoping, brothers and sisters, over and away. I'm not over and away. I'm here talking from Barbados to you. I am hoping that you will not stop. I am hoping that April will have one in there. June will have one in there. September will have one in there. Then, of course, Christmas. And you know that Christmas, you want to send it around October so that it has enough time to get here and to get to your relatives. But please don't stop. See, look, we are in a very dangerous time. Don't mind what the Prime Minister is saying and other people saying. The fact of the matter is there is some serious suffering in Barbados. Don't let nobody fool you. Many people that are shopping out there right now, they are in overdraft with it and their credit cards and all that. And they're trying to keep a face together. They're trying to make it look good. And this is in stark contrast to Mayor Motley's group, the group of bludgeon, which is seeing $7,000 and $8,000 when the month comes, which could help out and do well for them in terms of the cost of living, which is not something that is experienced by the wider Barbadian. And so I want to continue to encourage you not to stop. Send those barrels in. Basic stuff, because if you do that, and then they're smart enough to grow a few tomatoes and stuff at their house and in their yard, they tell us that we can't raise chickens or nine unless we're in the country, deep in the country, because there are even Barbadians who are annoyed that a cock would crow. Yes, the cock that woke us up for many years and still wake up people all over the world. There are people in Barbados who are annoyed that a cock is crowing. This is so crazy, stupid, and self-righteous some of us have become. All the things indigenous to the country. And a government which is very similar to the previous government or in Arthur's government who is trying to call this place a 5 star. I don't know how a place get a 5 star anymore is the normal way of doing things, the people's way of doing things. You're canceling all of that, but you're 5 star. I guess what you really say, I want these people out to here because I got some people from over and away that need to come and fill these houses and do the business activity that I would like go on here. How else is anyone supposed to assess what is going on in our country? So I'm like I said, I'm very, very glad that you continue with the bars. I've been checking for a minute because it is dear to me. And see, I know a lot of people crying the poor game and a lot of people playing the games and this and that. At the end of the day, I look at a bottom line. I look for the bottom line. And if the people of Barbados are not getting a better deal, I don't care how sweet you make it. I don't care about the fluff. I don't care about the elegance or the elegance or the thing. I don't care. If the bottom line does not benefit the people of Barbados, it's no good. And I understand the language connecting with foreign interests and everything else. And the stage is set for some serious confrontation in the years ahead. So I would like again wants to say, yeah, as you know, I mean, a lot of these things are not in a vacuum. They do have their phalanges and that kind of thing. So I'm glad that we've had that kind of response. I am hoping that all Barbados had a wonderful time. And it seems that way. It seems from everything else that we penny pinch, we do whatever we had to do. But at the end of the day, we had a good day. And we must look forward to a day. And I will promise you that a day is coming when Christmas will really be Christmas again. When we will live a life that is not this triangle hold. It's not just eking out a living, but it is living our lives. I listened to the Prime Minister and a few others, and I say to myself, what land are they in? But this is a time when it seems normative to say Happy Christmas and everything else. So yes, so I'm glad of that. And if I can do a quick recap, yes, we've come through, brothers and sisters. We've come through a very rough year. Indeed, the years have been rough since 2018, with no sign in sight of letting up. Taxes have been brutal. Laws have been passed, draconian in concept and effect. People have been twisted, tossed, turned, and allowed to do all kinds of maniacal stuff. Cost of living continues to be the most brutal, now at number 4 in the world. And I don't think Barbadians understand that, because if they understood that, they wouldn't be telling you, well, everybody got to make a living. So you make a living and build a $500,000 house, and a fella making a living trying to pay rent at $1,400 for a day, and you want to justify the money that you're getting because it supports a lifestyle that you are desirous of having, which nobody really care about. What we care about is that the pie should go around and everybody should be reasonably serviced with it. So we had a hard time, and more is yet to come. We saw laws that militated against the well-being of our children, and I ironically being titled the Children's Protect Act, and I'm here wondering where's the protection in it? Because the protection what the act does is slap children, especially parents, harder in their faces than anything has ever done. As you know, we allow the IADB to come in here and to give our children a 300-page, 300-question test. We know that 167 out of those 300 questions were deemed inappropriate, so just 133 were all right. The fact is, it was never all right because our parents were never allowed the opportunity to say yea or nay. The parents were never allowed the opportunity to decide when their children would be exposed to certain language and topics and things like that. And we know that the IADB showed Barbados who is in charge, because if the ministry tells you that 167 questions need to come up there and all 300 end up being there, somebody is strong arm. Somebody was pushed aside. Somebody was saying, sit down, this is our job, not yours. So it is something that we will have to address at some juncture, even though for our kids, the horse has already left the stable. We saw drugs, we saw law being applied differently to different people. We saw laws being set aside in a case to effect certain decisions, even though that law has not been changed, amended, or anything in Parliament. So we have seen the manipulation of the legal system, children, education, NIS. We've got a so-called commission charged with reforming this place called NIS. And even though discussions are continuing, it's the most stupid thing to behold, because all of these discussions are taking place after the law has already been passed. And why would you pass a law and then accept the feedback that you get and go back to Parliament to amend the laws that you pass? Then, if you were well-meaning, that law could have been held back. Take the adjustments, i.e., the suggestions, effect the amendment, the change. It wouldn't be an amendment, it would be a change. And then you go to Parliament and pass a decent law. But these facades, chaired by Sir Blackman and those, trying to tell Barbados that, yes, you're participating. You're not participating in anything. This has already gone, and nothing you are coming up with is going to effect any amendments. For example, in the Act, the same NIS Act, they've established 17 chief executive officers positions, from personnel to development to planning to, all kinds of stuff that one or two people can do. There's 7. NIS on the early January will now be a board proper. They will now be funding themselves. And those monies are going to come out to what we paid. But you first got to ask yourself, what are you going to do with 7 CEOs? That ain't got nothing to do with the accountants and everybody else. So is the plan rotten? Yes, it is. So we've seen the Prime Minister doing some bad things to the people of Barbados. And because the pushback has been almost single-handedly handled now by the Weeks group, because I think I backed away a little bit around September. backed off. I wanted to see. I wanted to see if somebody else or a few other people would come forth. I wanted to see if we can get some traction. I didn't want to be the only person in Barbados seeing the problems in Barbados. I want everybody in Barbados to become more fair with what's going on and to decide to get up off their backsides and push back. And they can do that by supporting us. Like and share the thing that we do so that others get a chance to see it. Because knowledge is going to generate the kind of push or resistance that will be needed in the months and years ahead. So we've been inundated with more and more burdens over and over again. Our properties are being taken. You've had guys getting 27 acres to build houses for themselves to sell at peppercorn rate. You see the prime minister flying all over the place in a private citizen's plane. It would be nice to know what the expenses for all of those trips that she's gone with him as pilot. It'd be interesting to know what kind of costs is that on the people of Barbados. So we have a lot of things happening. And then in the process, then you have the airport being leased, really, but you and I wouldn't be around here when that lease is up. That's a $200 million project. You have Marriott's. That's another $200 million project. You have a light rail in a 21 by 14 where over almost 1,000 buses, minibuses, PVSs, PVS, whatever you want to call them, over 1,000 of them in this little line. Lacking only structure and regulation so that the income from the thing can be properly shared and Barbados can get a vehicle to take them to work or town or wherever in 15 minutes. So we got enough, but we don't want to interfere with the ownership. And their monies. So we let them do whatever they want to do. And hey, the last casualty was 2 weeks ago when that little girl was dragged all over the place. And it is all right for us to watch this kind of carnage because after all, these people got to make a living. When did we lose our character? When did we lose our sense of right and wrong? It's the saddest thing out there. And like I said, you got the airport 200, you got Marriott 200, you got this so-called light rail, $500 million. And it is supposed to run you a trip from here, from Bridgetown to the airport, which an ABC bus can do and any kind of thing can do. But we are going to put $500 million trying to put a light rail in 14 by 21. It's the dumbest thing you can see. Then you got National Stadium. I got a $50 million jacket coming. Cricket Academy. That has a $40 million academy. Training and all this. Hey, training for cricket now. Then you got the port. 250 mil. You got Ocean Park. 25 million. You got the museum, 30 million. You got the coastal resistance plan. That is going to take another 50 million. And watch this, folks. You got the fish market at oysters going at 100 million. 100 million. Fish market. So all this is the money that is going about, and these are the monies we'll be talking about all next year, I'm sure. But I'm only saying this as a review, brothers and sisters, to give you an idea as to the type of carnage that is associated with this government. I think the only thing that is missing from all of this is a consistent voice from the Democratic Labour Party and other parties as they show representation for the people, as they show the people that they are indeed concerned, as they show the people that they are indeed ready to drop their bucket and do whatever needs to be done to bring this kind of injustice, this kind of criminality to the attention of all. By the way, we are not clear as to what all of these monies coming from. I believe Marriott is connected to China and a few others I can think. But what I'm saying is this is money that has to be paid back. This is, and all kinds of things that are not relevant for Barbados. How can you tell the people of Barbados that 16 people sitting in Parliament is too many? Too many people to sit in Parliament to do the job of Barbadians. Indeed, put only 12 in there. And then you can come up with this top heavy, this wicked scenario. All of our country going away to foreigners who now come here and benefit tremendously from everything while our people are marginalized and pushed to the side of the road. So, Barbadians, we have made it to Christmas. A lot to be done in the new year. That promises to be a very challenging one for us. I am hoping that 2024, which is about 3 years off for the election, and at least 2.5 off for the election. Don't mind the other propaganda that talking nonsense about the election coming up. That's nonsense. I am hoping that we will see better treatment of our candidates, of the people that have stepped forward to represent you as a people and a country. I'm hoping that we are able to harness the obvious out of control behavior for those that have been privileged to take positions of authority. But at the end of the day, Barbados, I promise you, as I promise you, that if you get in here with us next year and you work with us, you follow us, you click and share, you like and share, you like what you're doing is your job there. What is happening is this thing starts turning over and going to other places and everything else. And more people get to see it, and more people get aware as to what is happening in Barbados. You see, because we have a situation, this is critical. We have a situation where we have a prime minister running all over the place, but largely as a parasite, largely as a puppet. And those over and away, they don't mind investing her with certain things because she has been one of the most effective puppets they have ever had. They send out there and everything she wants, they want, she opens her mouth and say. They never had one that was this cooperative. And many of them enjoy the idea that she took Barbados from Barbadians and she's now giving it to all those who want it. So it's a bad place for our country to be in, and indeed a worse place for our people. But we still need you to support us. We still need you to follow us. We still need you to share what we put out there. Help people understand. Help people see. You see, because an election is going to come. It'll be 26 late or it will be 27. It's not going to be next year, 24. It's not going to be next year, 25. But an election will come. And you need to be able to hear what some of the people calling themselves candidates will be bringing to you. For example, in St. James there, we got bad roads, we got bad everything. And then when you look at that seat, do you know that the Democratic Labour Party won that seat for 5 years? All the rest, 60 plus years, that seat went back to the Barbados Labour Party every single time. And the condition of that constituency is so dilapidated, it's funny. I ask you, St. James North, I digress appropriately. I ask you, St. James North, what is anybody from the Barbados Labour Party going to come and tell you when nothing that they promised has been done? They want 5 more years to stink it up some more? I expect you to say, no, we are not going to do it. I expect you to say, I am not voting party just because you for party. Because my voting for the Barbados Labour Party did not help my people in this constituency. So, I don't want to belabor that. Just want, I got to get a little tip. I got to tip here. So, here we are. I hope that this season continues to be wonderful and beautiful and all that. I have 3 minutes before tomorrow, so I'm going to finish in 1. And I wish you a wonderful Christmas. I hope your family and everybody, there was a lot of fun. And even if there were not visible gifts, the gifts of love and the friendship and the conversation and the laughter and the joy and probably sharing a movie and all the things that give God some glory. And I expect that you would have gone to church and whatever else. And you know, all the things that pull us together again as a Christian society. I hope that you would have taken some time to do today. You will take some tomorrow. And indeed, for the next 11 days of Christmas, you will take some time. Guys, family is everything. It's everything. It's everything. Let nobody tell you otherwise. There's a serious attack on family right now, and we must resist that. So, without any further ado, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for being here. Watch it, like it, share it, and let's start to mobilize our people in Barbados and those from over in away in the diaspora, England, Canada, America, and even Europe. Have a very good night. Bless you, St. James North. Take a special Merry Christmas. Talk to you soon. Have a very good night. God bless.